Hi, I'm Amy, and today we are talking about some big changes at Ancestry. Ancestry just today released ProTools. Now, this is some big changes, but they are not free. There's going to be some charges. So with these new changes come some new charges. And I'm going to tell you all about these ProTools and whether they may be something that you might be interested in or not, so that you can see and then decide whether or not it's something that you would want to spend your money on. I'm Aimee Cross. I am here to help you take your genealogy to the next level. So let's get started with this. All right, these ProTools. The cost is $9.99 a month. And the big question is, are these worth it? Is it something that is worth $9.99 a month for you? There's 4 main ProTools that have been released. They're talking about adding some more. I was in the beta test and I met with the developers, and so we talked a lot about what might be coming. But at this point, these 4 tools are as follows. The first one is you can map your ancestors, and I'm going to show you how to do all this in just a second. The second one is, and this is something I hear a lot of people ask about, they're giving you some report printing or family group sheet printing, things like that. The third thing is they're going to allow you to view your people through some filters and sort the people in your tree with some filters. And then the last thing is they're going to add a fact checker. Now, this is one that I think is really interesting, but I actually am hoping that they beef this up and make it more robust. And that was something we actually talked about in the beta test. So let me go through each one of these things, and I will help you see what I'm seeing, and you can decide for yourself whether it's worth it to you. All right, so this first feature is the maps. Let's take a look at that. You can get to it by, if this is your tree, you're in your tree page, you get to it by going over here to your tree view. You can do your horizontal, vertical, fan view. Here's your charts and reports. There's actually another place where you can get to charts and reports, but first I'm going to go to the map. And you can see that it has this little green Pro thing, which means that this is a Pro feature. And what this map is going to do is it's going to show you where your family lives. So as I zoom in on a particular location, I can click on one of these and it will tell me what family member is living there and what fact happened in that spot. Now, this is only going to work when you standardize your locations. So I'm going to show you that right now. So if we go into a person, you want to make sure that your locations, like right here, his birthplace, you want to make sure that they're standardized, that you pick it from this drop-down menu. So like if I had just said Milwaukee, I want to pick the Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I want to pick one of these standardized locations. Otherwise, it's not going to work, okay? Now, you'll notice that there are some map filters up here. If I click on these map filters, I can filter by name, by location, by time period, direct line ancestors, paternal, maternal. I can sort by events, birth, marriage, death, burial, and that they lived in. And then I can also sort by tree tags. That makes this map more valuable to me. This next feature is charts and reports. And I can access it here, or I can access it in the person page. So I'm going to show it to you from here. Now, the first chart is an on-the-tafel chart. Say that 3 times fast. Basically what that is an ancestor chart. And this shows you the different generations in your family tree. I can add in the generations, like I can make this 5 generations. There are 2 different formats for the chart. They have the pine and then the birch. They really don't look that different to me. When I met with them, that was one of the things I said. I said, I think you guys could offer some more choices because some people might want to put this stuff in books, and I think they could look better. So that was my recommendation to them. You can also do some other types of reports. Let me switch to a different person where I can get you some more information. So I'm going to change this focus person. On his descendancy, you'll see I can get a nice descendancy chart here, which is really helpful. And a lot of people have asked me for this. They're like, why can't we print better charts on Ancestry? And in the past, the only way you could do that would be to download your family tree from Ancestry and put it into a program that you have on your computer or another type of a program. So now this would be available to you. In addition, you can do the register. Now the register And there's little question marks here if you want to know what that means. A register chart assigns numbers to track descendants by family groups and birth order. All right, and the last one is the family group sheet. So here we can have kind of a traditional family group sheet. So those are your different chart options. And I know a lot of you guys were wanting some of this information and wanting this ability. Now the people sorting tools. That one is, at first I was kind of like, what's different about that? Because there was already a place for you to see all the people in your tree. And maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you didn't know that you could see all the people in your tree. So let me show you how you go about that. So whether you have the ProTools or not, you can see the people that are in your tree. Let me show you. So if you go here to the 3 dots and you go to Tree Overview, right over here you have a summary and you can choose people right there. Now I'm getting the opportunity to see all the different people that I have in my tree. And I can go down and I can increase it to like 100 per page, but this lists by alphabet everybody in my tree. Now I can apply more filters, and these filters are the thing that is part of the ProTools. And they don't really say Pro here, so I think that might be a little bit confusing. But this is not going to be available to you if you don't have ProTools. At least that's my understanding. So you can do your direct line ancestors, paternal line, blah, 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 blah. You can sort by events and places. You can sort by possible errors. Actually, the check fact thing. But the possible duplicates, if you select that, it's going to show you possible duplicates that you have in your tree. And I think that's really interesting. So like here we have 2 George Chapmans who were born about the same time. So if I open these guys up, it opened it up in a new window, which is what I wanted, and I'm going to open the other one. So I'm going to compare these two. This George was born in about 1829 in London, England, and he was the son of George and Sarah Davy. The other George is exactly the same. What's the difference? Let's look at this a little bit more carefully. This George was christened the 13th of April, 1828. This George was christened the 2nd of May, 1830. Are these the same person? I think they may not be. They could be, but I don't want to combine them. So if I go here to the people, I could hit this exclamation point and I get this possible duplicate warning. And I could go to merge and I can merge them. Now, normally when you see a merge, you don't get the option to say not a duplicate. But when you're merging these people, when you're looking at possible duplicates, you do. So I'm going to say this is not a duplicate. All right, now it's still reading this here, and I'm not quite sure why that's happening. I would expect to see that resolved. If I go back here to my All People page, and I refresh that page, and I look at my filters, and I look at my possible errors and click possible duplicates, these 2 Georges are still showing. So that not a duplicate didn't work this time. So Ancestry, yeah, fix that one for us, okay? Oh, you can also look at your people in your tree by your tree tags. Custom tags, DNA tags, all that junk. I love being able to look at all the people in my tree. These filters could be kind of helpful, especially when you're looking for duplicates. So I think that's kind of interesting. All right, let me go to the last thing. All right, here is a person page, and this is where I'm going to illustrate this check facts feature. All right, you'll see right here, we have the check facts and the charts and reports. FYI, if you click tools up here, we're going to have the same options in the tools. So I'm going to go here. We've already talked about the charts and reports. I'm going to go to the check facts. Now this is saying that Gilbert Samuel Kinsley doesn't have any facts that they think might be an error. So if I view all possible errors, it's going to take me back to that tree view that we were talking about. And you've noticed right here, I'm looking for possible duplicates and other possible issues. Remember that filter right here? So you can kind of get there 2 different ways. Does that make sense? So for the purposes of this, now that we've already talked about duplicates, I'm going to take that off so that you can see some of the other possible issues. So let's take a look down here and let's take a look at Ella Larmer. Let's see what our problem is with Ella. I'm going to go over here. It opened her up. I'm going to go to check facts. There is a residence event 10 years after her death date. Now there's a little more button here which gives us more information. Did another family live there after the person died? Check your dates, look at records. I love how they give us suggestions on how to fix it. That's awesome, and things to check so that you can figure out what the truth is. In this instance, I'm going to move this for right now. In this instance, she died in 1900. Her probate was 1905, and then her burial. We have a 1917 residence from a U.S. city directory. This record is wrong. This was either a different L alarmer or it wasn't hers. So I could go back in and fix this record, and then I can make that change. I like this. There's a lot of trees that are wrong in Ancestry, and especially if you're a beginning genealogist, this will help you recognize some things that maybe you don't know. My wish list. My wish list is that they would look in, for instance, a census record and say, okay, I have adopted the 1810 census for Overton Harris. Is there any other Overton Harris that was living in the area that I maybe should have adopted? And this is really even more pertinent for 1850 and later censuses where they have all the family members. Because what happens in our family trees is if we adopt a census record and it's not our guy, and we adopt these children, we don't know, we adopt these children, our hints are going to drive us down that pathway now. And sometimes it's not the right pathway. And their AI might be able to recognize the fact that, guess what? There's 3 people by that name that are living in that county or that area. And so you might want to check and see if you adopted the right census record for this guy. I mentioned that at my beta testing thing that we did, and they were really interested in that. So Ancestry, that's my wish. Anyway, what do you think? I would love to know what you think about these ProTools. Again, they're $9.99 a month. Do you have to pay the $9.99 a month if you have the All Access membership to Ancestry? Yes, you do. Any membership with Ancestry is an additional $9.99 a month for the ProTools. That includes memberships for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who have a special agreement with Ancestry. You are going to need to pay that $9.99 a month as well. One of the other things that I just recently found out about is Ancestry now has a family plan. So when you sign up for Ancestry, you can actually share your account with 4 other family members. And I get a lot of people complain to me about how expensive Ancestry is. This would lower the cost. However, bad news is my contact at Ancestry told me that the $9.99 per month, the ProTools apply to each account. So even though you may be sharing your family, your account, your Ancestry account with other family members, if you all want the ProTools, you're going to have to pay for them. So what do you think? You're going to ask me what I think. What do I think? I think $9.99 a month or $120 a year is a bit expensive for these tools. I think that they are definitely a great thing and a great start, and I could see them being well worth it. They are certainly things that some people have been asking me about. If it were me, I think I would sign up for ProTools for a couple of months, use them up, and then probably cancel it and do my regular Ancestry subscription, and then maybe in another year or 2, do them for another month or 2. I think that's how I'd play that. Let me know what you think. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope it's going to help you make a decision about whether or not you want to pay the extra for ProTools. And if you want to do better searches, check out this video right here. This video will really help you find things that maybe you've not been able to find as you search on Ancestry, because there's some tricks that will make your searches more effective, and I promise you, you will find some things that you have yet to find. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like and let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks.